I used to pocket the cash payments for the $5 footlong. When I was young, I worked at Subway during the $5 footlong deal. When customers would come in and order just the sub, it was easy math. $5.40 every time. So I would simply bring in a roll of quarters and dimes to work and give them back 60 cents from my pocket and keep their $6 they usually handed me. Usually ended up pocketing $50.60 a day. The manager never figured it out. Even when the bread counts were short 10-12 every night, they would always say it's normal. We sometimes toss bread, eat it for our lunch break, or simply count wrong. So he never even looked into it. Made really good money. Kinda feel bad. Kind of don't. The owner was brining in over $100,000 a year with that store alone. He told me himself. So I didn't think he would miss $1,000 or so. I only did it a short time. I loved working at Subway 'cause hey, free lunch. It'd fucking kill for a delectable Italian footlong with American white cheese, ham, turkey, lettuce, mayo and butter toasted. I did this at a gas station car wash I worked at. Customers could bring in cutout coupons from the newspaper and use them for like 40 off. I'd take the coupon of a guy spending $3 and give him the discount, paying the difference from my own pocket. Then when a guy came in spending $25, I'd use that coupon and keep the discount. It could be like $7 or $8 per customer, and doing a weekend shift was pure profit. I spent it all on weed and I regret nothing. With Sprite. I used to do that with Marlboro cigarettes at a gas station way back when cash was normal. $4.02 out the door. Oh, I got 2 cents right here. My wife worked at Subway when she was younger and said the owner was cheap and forced them to throw away any leftover stuff like sandwiches that had mistakes, so they had to remake. He had cameras everywhere and would interrogate the girls if anything was off. Used to work at Ruby Tuesday. I was a hostess. I remember learning that the servers always pocketed the cash if a guest bought from the salad bar. Wasn't easy to track at all. Because I was too honest and scared of getting caught, never did it. But one of the waitresses told me they'd charge the first person who bought the salad bar and just keep reusing that receipt. Nice scheme. I really miss the footlong. Back when I was a broke young man, my niece was a Wendy's manager. I would order a hamburger, she would load me up with enough food to feed a football team. I did something similar in high school when I delivered pizza. I wouldn't ring the order up, so if it was $20, I'd just keep it because it wasn't added to my orders. I was very confused why a $5 sub was randomly suddenly $5.40 until I remembered Americans hate putting the real prices you actually pay on their menus. Anyone old enough to remember the rewards stamps? Little yellow stickers you put on cards for a free sub? I used to pocket 1/2 the small coffees and half the large coffees when I worked at Honeydew when I was 16. Lol. Small was $1. Large was $2.75. I started just doing smalls. But the cup count got too noticeable. I used to make an extra $30.40 a day. It was a bullshit minimum wage job. No doubt. If I were buying a sandwich from a Subway employee, I would be happy to know my money was going straight into said employee's pocket. Doubt anyone would care beyond that. Rolling on the floor laughing. The cookies are the bomb. I used to close by myself and would close like an hour early, lol, just kept my hat down and pretended I couldn't see the angry customer knocking and pointing at the hours of operation. Man, I miss $5 oven roasted chicken breast. Don't feel bad. I'm glad to hear other people have done similar things, tbh. I have my own confession, LMAO. I used to work at an amusement park, and I hated it. The owners and managers were horrible people, treated every employee terribly, so I just didn't respect them. When people gave me their tickets, instead of ripping them up, I would just keep them and resell them to the next people who wanted to purchase tickets and pocket all the cash. It was foolproof and there was no way of them finding out. I would walk away with $300, $400 extra a day. It was one of my best paying jobs BC of that LMAO. Didn't steal, but I used to collect subcard points from large orders in case I fancy a free sub when I'm not working. Used to hand out 5,000 points worth subcards to family. Some Office Space vibes. At least you kept it under control. When I was in high school, I worked at a movie theater. Popcorn refills were $0.25. I kept a tally of how many I would not ring up but still charge them $0.25. Every shift, I'd make about $15-20 just in uncharged popcorn refills. I switched over to port of subs now that is a foot-long baguette bread flushed. No one cares if you don't get caught. The owner is from corporate and watching through the camera, so if they don't stop you it's probably because the wage was shitty. Good for you. Way to beat the system. Good. Pay me for my footlong. I did this at Hardee's. 2 milkshakes were $3.60 or something. I just wouldn't ring it up. Scandalous. Also, when I worked at pizza place, I'd take the order, give you a price, then put on a coupon. Easy buck. I used to have a friend hang out with me when I worked at a gas station back in the day. He would scratch lottery tickets all day, and we would pay for them with the winnings. We got lucky and made out with $700 each once. Guess I know now why my footlong is now $10.16 instead of $5. Props. Theft from minimum wage jobs isn't really theft. You should feel guilt forever, that poor owner. Sarcasm. Good on you. You should have stolen more. I bring over $100,000 a year and I'd still miss $1,000. But with that said, as a kid I would have done the same thing had I thought of it. I did something similar at the Burger King drive-thru in the 80s. That's what you call perks of the job. Thumbs up. If I don't notice that you've stolen $10 from me, shame on you. If I don't notice that you've stolen $1,000 from me, shame on me. I did it with orders for a dozen bagels. Almost got caught because I would ring it up and then void it, and the increase in voids was suspicious. Tuna on Italian herbs and cheese. Toasted W cheese before the tuna. Loaded veggies. Smidge of ranch and light salt pepper. I stole from Subway all the time when I worked there. Would make myself multiple sandwiches. Ate the cookies. The chips. Never stole money, but I was bad lol. Seems harmless. But a lot of Subways are franchised and cost an absolute fortune to purchase. Just because it's Subway doesn't mean you stealing from a large corporation, but potentially from just someone who got a huge loan or put their life savings into the franchise. Well done. Fuck them. $100,000 seems low to me, or am I being ignorant? I once owned a Subway, but we had to close down cause we were always 10-12 loaves short every night. And we couldn't handle the financial strain. Fuck me, man. I love Subway. I worked at a Quick Lube 2004, 2006. After the boss went home at 7 p.m., we had two prices. One came with an invoice. The other didn't. I was never short on cash back then. Meanwhile, I didn't pay for a sandwich when I was pregnant. I was paid like $50 a week at this time. And got written up for stealing lol. Not great, not terrible.